and I must be directed to accept this. My recommendation ultimately is to remove the 263.3 foot by 7 foot piece of property along the eastern region of the Riverside Park property and accept the 48 foot by 67 foot parcel or the 3,216 square feet of property owned by them as new park property. I also recommend that the City Council direct me to continue to work with Unity School investors to address the other ancillary issues, but allow them to move forward with this development.
Okay. So the first one you need is this resolution to take it to planning, is that correct?
Correct. Plan, that would be, if we would need 2/3 majority to approve that. That would require, and then it would go to the Planning Commission. Planning Commission would set a public hearing, most likely for their March meeting. At that meeting in March, they could then take action to recommend. It would then come back to council.
Set for 20 days.
No, it would have, first we'd have to have, I believe we have to have another public hearing. But we can try and speed that up with, we can try at least speed that up so where it runs concurrent with the March meeting. If we can set that up, and then at that meeting, you could take it out of the park plan. And then at that meeting, if you do that, you could technically have a resolution, and you could have a resolution at that place to sit for 20 days.
Why does it have to sit for 20 days?
That is a provision of the city charter.
Okay.
And other provision of the city charter is that you must have, in order to sell, transfer, dispose property, you have to have 4 or 5 votes in the affirmative.
But for this resolution to send it to planning, it's a normal
You
3.
have to have 2/3
Right.
majority.
Motion on this resolution 719.
Can I ask a question?
You sure can?
Sure.
Okay. If nothing can happen until it goes to the planning commission in March, and then it's gonna get kicked back to us, and then it has to sit for 20 days, and I understand the need to expedite things, but doesn't that give plenty of time to address the ancillary concerns noted here?
It may or may not.
Okay.
I think this is a great project, and we want to do everything we can to support it and move it forward. It's unfortunate there's a little glitch here that hopefully isn't going to hold things up too long for you with this last-minute development. I think that resolving the ancillary issues needs to happen now, but I'm hoping we have a solution that is going to work. But I think we can do that, like you say, Cliff, that gives us some time here. We've got to make that happen.
Is that going to be on anybody's checklist to maybe address those concerns?
We've been working through.
Well,
Yeah,
okay.
Right?
Yeah,
I'm the new guy,
Yeah.
I'm just,
Yeah, we've been working on those.
okay. I got an earful Saturday.
We need a motion? I'll make a motion that resolution 7-19 be turned over to planning commission for review.
Go ahead. I'll support it.
Okay. Susie?
Councilmember Salzweedl?
Yes.
Councilmember Yankovic?
Yes.
Councilmember Chambers?
Yes.
Councilmember Canfield?
Yes.
And Mayor DeVore?
Yes. Anything else on that one, Michael? Okay. Then we have the March Planning Commission.
Well, yeah, we'll have to set it there, at the meeting next week.
Okay. All right. Item number C, 619, is to establish or set a public hearing to discuss the King Milling IFT grant. We're setting that for our next meeting, is that
Correct.
the goal?
I believe there's a resolution in front of you. Yeah.
619.
Is that further down? Oh, that's all I'm saying. Okay.
Yeah, resolution 619.
Yep.
I don't have 619.
It's past the drawing.
It's on the
Yeah.
agenda at the beginning.
There's no memo with it.
Oh, it's right here.
All right.
There's no memo.
So it's page 30.
Just to establish a public hearing for our next meeting, correct?
Correct.
All right, we'll look for a motion on resolution 619.
I'll make that motion.
Support.
Discussion? Susan?
Councilmember Yankovic,
Yes.
Councilmember Chambers,
Yes.
Councilmember Canfield,
Yes.
Mayor DeVore,
Yes.
Councilmember Salzweedl.
Yes.
All right. Board and commission reports, Mr. Canfield.
Nothing to report.
Mr. Chambers. Nothing for me. Mr. Yank.
Haven't been to any yet.
Mr. Salzweedl.
The LCTV Endowment Fund deadline is set for this Friday, the 8th at 5 p.m. So get your request in. We'll be meeting on February 26th to make the determination, and then we hope that we come back sometime in March with our findings to the council.
Very cool. Not an official board report, but Mike and I and Rich, a bunch of people put together that fairgrounds feasibility board, and we sat there, I don't know, probably 2 hours, and there was a lot of good discussion and a lot of good ideas. So Rich kept some pretty good notes if anybody wants to see him. He's a guy to go talk to. And then DDA is canceled
Yes.
for February. Fire authority is Monday, next Monday. Makes it your turn.
With the cold temperatures last week and the snow, our DPW worked very hard during that event. They did an excellent job, in my opinion, and continue to provide an excellent standard of service for the city. In addition, they're short-staffed right now. They're down a guy, and we're gonna be talking about that at the next committee of the whole meeting, which would be on February 19th at 5:30. We will be talking about DPW staffing. They were going to come tonight and we were going to discuss this, but they were so tied up with the weather event that they're not prepared to do that at this time. So we will move that to February 19th. But I want to thank them for the excellent job they did. They did a phenomenal job, as they always do. As you saw earlier, we're going to be losing Officer Dustin Brown to the Granville Police Department. We're also going to be losing one of our part-time officers, Officer Ian Shears. He was also hired by Granville as well. I believe they start February 11th. Is that?
Officer Brown starts February 11th, Officer Shears starts February 12th.
Okay. So, in the meantime, next week, the police chief, and he'll have a outside panel. They will be interviewing 3 of our part-time candidates for a full-time position, and they should have their recommendation to me for the day I return from vacation. When I return from vacation, based off their recommendation, we would make a conditional offer of employment to that candidate. And then we're also in the process right now of trying to restaff the part-time ranks. I know they're interviewing. They're taking applications right now for part-time staff because part-time staff will be a little bit down. They've also, in the interim, with the change, Chief Buckel is going to be taking over investigations for the time being. Our patrol investigator, Gordy Lauren, he's going to be going back to just patrol for the time being until we get back to full staffing, which hopefully by late February that happens. Moving forward on that. This week, both Rich and I will be attending the Michigan Municipal Executives Winter Institute in Battle Creek. We'll be both there from Tuesday to Thursday. From Thursday, beginning Friday, I will be beginning my vacation. As we all know, I'm getting married on Saturday. And I'll be on my honeymoon after that, and I will return on the 19th.
Oh.
Yeah, as long as I don't get stabbed by a stingray. That is all I have.
All right. Appointments, Brian McLean's Historic District Commission officially went from a pending to a resignation, and we don't have applications for either one of those spots, right?
No,
The
we don't.
construction or the... So, the first look in the ledger can put that out there for us, tell people get down here and apply. The Construction Board of Appeals, I think, has met 3 times in the past 2 years. So, it's an easy one.
Maybe they met that many times.
I was gonna say, I'm on that board, and we haven't met in 5 or 6 years,
Oh,
since King Milling put up the new mill.
Yeah, when Mark Munt resigned, he had told me.
Yeah, no, we've met 3 times in 20 years. It's pretty
Yeah.
low. demands.
There you go.
That's an easy one. It doesn't
Yeah.
pay, but it is an
You know,
easy
you
job.
can even print your own business cards if you want.
I don't know.
Uh-huh. Council comments, Cliff.
I had an instructive morning with Rich LeBombard, and I'm in possession of a really cool notebook, which I think he's gonna make available for the other three guys. Greg and I were there, gave me a great appreciation of everything that the DPW does, and then I got to see him in action this week. But it was good, it was educational. I appreciated it.
Thank you, Jim.
Wednesday, we had a great meeting with Lou Bender. I really enjoyed the time spent with council and Mike and Lou, and very educational, and I'll look forward to next year.
Mr. Canfield.
It was a great informative meeting that Cliff and I had with Rich. Congratulations, the DPW did a great job with the storm and stuff we had, but what we talked about a little bit in our meeting was the culture has really changed at the DPW, and I think the city staff in the last couple of years, you guys have made huge progress here. And I think treating our people well and getting respect, and it's nice to see that change. It's difficult to steer a big ship, but you guys are doing a great job of that, so well done there. And well done by DPW keeping the streets and sidewalks clean. And this presentation on the SAW grant was great, Mike. It's, we've been waiting for this, working on this for a year and a half or something, but now we got some meat and potatoes on the plate. It's nice to see the results of that, so it gives us a good starting point to move forward. And I think the good news is our infrastructure is in better shape than we really thought it was. And I wasn't aware that part of the street cost would be spread amongst the sewer and water funds, so that helps us there. So we're slowly getting things turned around here. Well done.
Mr. Chambers.
My wife, we own business here in town, and my wife, while Don was cleaning the sidewalks with the Bobcat, the Zamboni as we all affectionately call it, she took his picture and she posted it on our company's Facebook. Don got 2,078 likes that day for just being Don, and I find that quite entertaining. Thanks to the DPW guys. You guys did an awesome job. He scared me the other morning. I heard him scraping, and I'm like, it's 40 degrees out. It didn't snow. They were getting the slush and stuff off the road, so it was good to see everything work, and cold weather's behind us.
Yeah, I don't think that's accurate.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's seen his shadow. It's what it's all about.
Okay. We'll talk about that later. The cameras are off. I really appreciate the DPW every time it snows, the police department too. It's a little harder to come to work when it's 17 below and you know you're going to be outside, but it's noticeable. Lou Bender was great. Every year it's great. It's interesting to see how many people are on the same page about things that you don't know about because you don't talk about them. And then you go in and you see those lists and you think, no. Maybe I'm not the only one thinking about that, so that's always nice. Reminder, our next meeting is a Tuesday meeting, not a Monday meeting. So it'll be the 19th, not the 18th. Yeah, I think that's it. I'll look for a motion now to go into closed session. Mike's request so we can discuss labor negotiation strategy.
I'll make a motion that we go into closed session.
Support?
All right, anything else? Sue?
Councilmember Chambers,
Yes.
Councilmember Canfield,
Yes.
Mayor DeVore,
Yes.
Councilmember Salzweedl,
Yes.
and Councilmember Yankovic.
Yes.
All right.